Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me on Berets, where I'm going to be talking about the new JP side update, all the goods and the bads, because if you guys know my videos, I like to not just make everything sunshiny. There are problems that appear, and I like to bring these problems to the attention of the community before they potentially become worse. So, and I don't know, consider it kind of watchdoggy, I guess, but regardless, I think this new update features some great stuff and some bad stuff, and we're going to go through it all. So first of all, what is the new things to be added to the game? Well, first of all, I'm going to start with an incredibly strong feature that I am super happy to see be entered into the game, which is to do with a way that you can set up your units now. So take a look at Kane, for example. Let's say that Kane, I'm just not particularly liking his AI. Well, boom! Here it is. This is specific setups for AI in different kinds of content. So you have your Guild War, you have your multiplayer, you have all of that general stuff, your single player kind of stuff. So you can basically set all of your units to how you want them to just be. This is an update that should have been in the game way sooner. I'm super happy to see it here. There's really nothing else that needs to be said. Good update. Thank you for adding it, Gummy. Alright, now that being said, let's talk about another really positive thing, which is to do with armor crafting. Because armor crafting and weapon crafting, the screen has always been, for lack of a better word, incredibly cluttered. If you take a look now, all of those recipes are just gone now. It was kind of shocking the other day when I went in there and I was just like, wait, where did it all go? No, wait, where did it all go? Yeah, let's take a look, for example, at the UR Rosa bow, a bow that I have not crafted yet. And this is the brand new feature, a slider to sliders. I haven't watched that movie in a while. This is the brand new feature to be added to the JP side. It is a much easier way of crafting. It also lets you just see, hey, everything you need. Like, wow. I need 1,300. I do not have. Hey, 420. Woof, blaze it. All right. Continuing on. This is just a really nice way of showing off exactly what you need to be able to craft it. And this feature is also can include the weapon types that you already have crafted as well. You see, by clicking this off, it basically doesn't include anything that's in your inventory, but if you do, it actually accommodates that in the calculations. Overall, there's really nothing else to say here other than I'm super happy to see this feature being added, and it is actually not as bad as I thought it was when I first checked it out. Really nice to see that this feature will just kind of show off everything that you do need to be able to complete it, and well, ultimately how far away you are from completing your goal. But yeah, really nice. I'm super happy to see this crafting just generally easier in that sense. There's probably another thing we need to talk about crafting, but yeah. There's also been some AI repair to do with just generally the way the AI works, some UI renovation, not really a ton of specific details about that. Also, what has been added is the chat function. In the middle of battle now, you can actually have a chat enabled in your room. So if you're doing multiplayer farming, you need to chat with the guys who you're farming with. Great addition as well. Think that is super valuable. Repair of the guild battle. I think there were some problems with the specific guild battles they were trying to implement. So that's great. And now I think I've spoken enough about what I think is generally positive about that, the update. I'm going to speak about a little bit of some of the negative things. And if you don't like negative things, well, I guess you can just ignore it. But yeah, in the recent addition of the update, we are now seeing 2 brand new packs into the game. The Oval Packs, which increase job points. 100 of these plus 1,490 lapis. Increasing the job point by a ton, 1,000%, which is much bigger than the large ones we've got previously. The large ones were 200%, the medium ones were 100%, The small ones were 50%, and now this one is 1,000%. So congratulations to the premiums. Whales can now farm job points incredibly fast. And overall, I mean, it's nice to have that job point issue, but if you consider the fact that Rainbow Rocks, Orbs, Stamina Pots, Select Tickets, more Rainbow Rocks, Limit Burst Pots, TMR Pots, summon upgrading equipment, weapon upgrading equipment, and for some fucking reason, still, Ma Cherie is all monetized. Seriously? I get it. This game has probably a higher development than Brave Exvius costs, even though they are reusing models a fair bit. In general, like, I understand. There's voice actors to pay for. We're getting, like, animations and everything like that. All of that stuff costs money, and it does have to be paid for. I am not existing in a world where, hey, guess what? Stuff is just free all the time, and that's how that works. It'd be nice to live in that world. So I understand why stuff needs to be monetized, but can you potentially cut us a bit of a break somewhere? Does everything have to be monetized? Down everything? Okay. Well, continuing on, the other update, and this was not advertised, and as far as I know, this has never been talked about before, so I am nervous about this. Before I get into it, I am going to preface what I'm about to talk about, very quickly by saying, we don't know if this is good or bad yet. We don't know what this exactly encompasses, how widespread this will be, or whether this will totally invalidate vision cards. But it is a possibility, so I am going to bring it up now in case it happens later. Vision cards now have vision ability set. This is unknown whether these are something that will be equipable, although given the fact of how TMRs are working with certain stuff, this is probably not an equip thing, this is probably just a vision card thing. Also, at the time of this recording, no, max level vision cards do not get this as far as we know, nor do you need to max level vision cards to get this. This is a brand new thing, and if I am going under my assumption, I assume that this will be a thing for new vision cards to outvalue old vision cards. In terms of exactly how powerful these will be in the future, no idea. I mean, the best case scenario I think that we should hope for, should potentially think is going to happen is the fact that these will be retroactively put into previous vision cards. They will be available on any vision card you get, whether they are 1-star awakening or 4-star awakening, and they will not improve, and they will just make the game a little bit easier for everybody. However, we do have to also acknowledge the fact that the worst case scenario is they could require max level vision cards, they will only be on newer vision cards, and they will make old vision cards obsolete. So I am a little bit nervous about this because historically when Gummy tries to sneak shit into their games, it's usually because it smells like shit and they don't want people to notice. So I'm not exactly thinking that this is a positive thing. You think that it will be a positive thing? Great. We'll see what it comes out, but worst case scenario, if it is the worst case scenario thing, we probably should have been fighting against it sooner, and if it is the best case scenario, then fighting against it worked. Alright. So, continuing on, the last update I want to talk about is something to do with new players, and in general, I think the longevity of this game, which is to do with farming missions. Currently, there are 3 farming missions. The Sasuke Blade, which is good for Ketone and future ninjas. The Mace, which is great for Adira and Summer Ketone, which I have already talked... Wait, I might have missaid that. For regular Ketone for the Ninja Blade. Summer Ketone for the Mace. And last but not least, the gun. However, all of these maps are incredibly difficult for new players, I would imagine. And are probably and the reason is for a couple of different reasons. So, taking a look at all 3 of them really quickly, because I don't want this video to be overly long. The Sasuke Blade. And it should be noted that the level 60 are easily clearable by basically any long-term player that has a pretty well-built team. But not necessarily. Looking at the further down the list, sorry, let me take it back. Let me talk about it. each of these. First of all, the Ninja Blade one. The Ninja Blade one has Mind Flayers on it. They have low movement with not autoing. It's a pretty easy clear, mainly because they just have bad movement in terms of, but if they do get in range, they do have an AoE with incredibly high paralysis chance, it seems. So yeah, it can, you can potentially get your entire team stunned with no options of how to do it. In general, the Zoos are really not that threatening, although they do hit AoE, and can just stack damage on your team pretty. So, and yeah, so that's something to consider about that one. The gun one is pretty awful in terms of just the fact that this gun one is basically all Lamias. As a matter of fact, it's the Oops All Lamia stage, which is basically a ton of charm and confusion, and it really makes auto not super reliable on this one, unless you have, like, I guess, a ton of AoE just from the start. Just need to build Medina and Adira. That's the only way to do it in the future. And last but not least, the Mace stage, which is farming against a bunch of archers, which are set up in a high position. Pretty difficult to reach, not impossible, but definitely requires very kind of more specific units to auto farm this one. And a ton of gunners as well that can potentially reduce a lot of your hate generation very quickly, potentially leaving the units that you are relying on to do damage to get chained down by a bunch of archers. It is not, none of these stages at level 80 are impossible, but they are impossible for new players, and I think even the level 60 versions or level 50 versions are just way too difficult for new players. Level 50 should be incredibly easy for basically everyone. They should be almost brain dead easy because you need to farm these weapons to be able to make your characters more powerful so you can do more difficult content. Weapon farm at this point should not be the really difficult part of this game. It is the essential part of this game to do the difficult content. And I do feel like this is just generally discouraging if you go in and you just get hard wiped by a lot of these. And it's hard enough with the drop rates at level 50 just being pretty crap. They are crap. They are absolutely awful in terms of getting, you know, drop rates for the recipes that you need to be able to make the decent high-tier weapons so that you can do the other content. And then the level 80 content is just really difficult too. Stop making farm content difficult. I know that there is really not much in terms of engaging content this week on the JP side. There is the rerun of the tower, which basically says, hey, if you cleared it already, you're not going to get much out of this again. But it is a 7 days, and it does give people a chance to, you know, if they missed it, to do it, or if they didn't finish it, to do it. That's fine. I don't care. Do that stuff. Do your, you know, your problematic raids, your problematic point events, do all that optimization shit for people who really want it. But weapon farm is just going to discourage new players, and we would like to have more players so that this game can continue, so this game can be profitable, so Gummy can offer fair stuff and fair prices to people so that they can do the stuff they want to do. Either way, I think that I'm really not overly enthused about the fact that even some of these older stages, like the Sasuke Blade, has been run once. And also, not only that, but so has the gun one. And every time it comes back and it's even more difficult. And this is all Lamias. What's next? Just all Marlboros? And they all start with bad breath? Please, stop. Give us a break. You're over-monetizing us, and you are making the farm more difficult than it needs to be. Nobody really enjoys the weapon farm. Nobody is playing that game for this. They are playing it for other reasons. They like your characters. They like a lot of your character designs. They like them. A lot of the other stuff. They like it. So just kind of rely on the fact that, hey, we will pull characters if we like them. And characters are already a pretty big financial sink in terms of resources or real-world money. So lay off a little bit. You'll probably get more players, and you'll be more competitive in a very competitive app game market. Anyway, so yeah, Leave your thoughts below if you think that this is too difficult. If you really want to see these missions performed by me, I will make those videos as well. But currently, early on, I haven't found a super optimal way of doing it yet, so yeah, I'm not showing it off in this video anyway. And then there were other things to talk about in this video too. So I'm going to cut this video for now. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and thank you very much for watching. Take care. Let's improve the game for everybody, not just old players, but new players too. See ya.